picture of the sisters Riddle and Uncle Mac down the shore. We have Reenie.
See it on the same picture with Mac?
Uh-huh. This is the old time days, Mom.
Yeah.
Look at it. See the
Look,
picture?
there you go.
Here's Aunt Reenie.
Whoop. There we go.
Aunt Mabel. Wait, let's hold it. Reenie.
Yeah, Aunt Mabel had started to go bad by that time.
And Uncle Mac. And my mom.
Oh, I said that again.
No, it's you.
It's you. This is one of the early pictures, Mom.
Well, I mean, my hair looked like awful short for me.
I think it's pulled back.
Yeah,
on
pull back with the headband.
Yeah.
Just like you
it's
got
longer in the back.
Yeah.
That's you. And we're on the porch down the shore. We still have that little black table.
That's right.
Probably still have that
Now,
life preserver.
eventually,
Or as Cindy called it, life preserver.
right. Now there were
Somebody's birthday.
Yeah. There were two houses back there, two cinder block houses, and Uncle Mac and Aunt Mabel had one of them.
Not always. No, sometimes we all shared our
They
house.
only had
Right,
it.
but I mean, it wasn't. How did that?
Well,
How many
sometimes they
tables
would
available?
share the rent with the Jeffers.
Oh,
See, the
okay.
Jeffers was there before we was. And then her and Miss Jeffers had a mutual habit, so they did real good. They got along real good.
Yeah, this is. See, that's.
See how blonde your hair is,
Oh,
Cindy?
jeez.
Can
Okay.
you imagine
Here's
Miss Jeffers riding across the Bay Bridge with her?
Here's another picture.
Make sure I got the focus right here.
Well, this looks like you.
And
That's Aunt Reenie.
this is myself and Aunt Reenie. And I think Don and Ron and Cindy. It's hard to tell
That
because
looks
Cindy's
like
hair is so blonde.
Sounds
But
like Dennis. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. That's a Dennis.
And you can see the great view off of the porch. You can see out the little round bay and Severn River.
Yeah.
And
Many
Salem.
happy years there.
And here we go. This is where we were in the canoe. So it's all kids in the canoe.
Yeah.
And we had a stakeout on the little side of the where the canoe was tied. And we would paddle and paddle and paddle, round and round and round we'd go.
It was
And we never got lost.
Yeah.
That was fun.
They never had to retrieve us from the
Uncle
island.
Dennis went crazy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uncle
this was
great.
Uncle Dennis borrowed that, put it from the Marine base, naval base in Patuxent. Patuxent? No, Andrews.
Yeah.
And put it on top of the car, brought it up to the shore, carried it down the hill,
Put the stake in it.
put
for
the
us.
put the stake in the and tied it. And Deborah, she wouldn't get out of the thing, and it's metal, shiny metal, and they just kept going around and around the circle because it was tied to the post, and she got a terrible sunburn
The first minute.
because from the reflection.
Okay, is this Mary Jo?
I can't
change.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
lot
I
of
think.
fun.
I think this looks like Mary Jo and maybe me. Yeah, could be.
We have so many pictures of the shore. Here's one from the end of the pier. Here,
Now
these
that
two.
looks like early days when it was pretty wild down there, huh?
It's unbelievable.
Wow,
This
look
is,
at it.
This is the pier going back to the shore, to the mainland, I guess you would call it. And then here's the famous tree that you'll see in just about every picture that we
Well, there's
have.
something down
And
there.
these trees over here are the ones that my father and Uncle Roland planted.
They grew pretty fast, didn't
Yeah,
they?
locust trees.
And
And then
here,
there's
this is actually Alan
They have
and
the case fun
Pop.
out there.
and me and I don't know who else it is.
That I bet you they'd all think about it.
Now look at that bathing suit.
That Eli's nephew made the sports commentators.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh, I saw
that.
Who's that in that picture?
That's Anne Marie, I think.
Anne Marie. Wow, look at that bathing suit.
And this looks out the opposite direction on the pier, looks over to the other side. There are houses over there now, but at that time it was a bird sanctuary. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
And,
and animals of all kinds, snakes and everything. But these people today, I'd rather have the snakes and the birds. As Glenn says, I mean, Daddy said he'd rather fight the niggers than to fight these half-assed
Well,
white
this
people.
is,
So
okay.
I guess that's the way it goes.
This
You
is
know,
a
you don't
picture
win 'em all.
of Susie. Now
There
look,
you
Susie
go.
is.
That's when they were
Now
little.
tell us a story about Susie when
There's
she wanted to go
Susie.
swimming.
When
When she wanted to
Susie,
jump off the pier.
Susie was the
I'm
youngest,
bigger
of
now.
course. And all the kids were down on the pier, and they were all jumping off. Everybody had a life preserver, such as that, of some sort, and they would jump off, and poor Susie would be left behind. So Bill and I were down the end of the pier, and Susie says, "I'm bigger now," because we kept saying you could jump off when you're bigger. So she said, "I'm bigger now," and of course I couldn't watch. But your father watched, and her two big sisters were out in the water, and Susie put on her life preserver, as she called it, and she jumped in, and they were there to make sure she came back up. I don't know what we'd have done if she hadn't. And she came back up, smiling ear to ear, and doggy paddled all the way around and came up the ladder. So she really was never afraid of water. None of the kids were.
How old
So
was
this was the summer before she was
18
3?
months old. She was
So
18
who's,
months old.
who's in that picture then?
this is Susie.
Is that Mary Jo?
Well, I'm not sure. That could be Mary
I think
Jo.
that's Mary Jo.
And then
That's
that's
Mary
me.
Jo, I know.
Yeah.
Who's this on the end?
Me. Right? I think so.
Yeah. But my mom used to take the summer off. And we'd go down there, the three of us, and we'd spend all summer. And Papa would work night work. He'd leave, what? He'd have to be to work at 3 o'clock, right?
No,
And, huh?
you had to be working 4.
So he'd left at 3. Maybe that's what it was.
One.
Didn't want to be late. Anyway, what I remember is that we got up in the morning, we kept our nightgowns on, we went, ran around in the yard, played on the swing,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom fixed us pancakes. Every
Corn fritters.
morning, my
I don't
life
think I
we had
made any
pancakes
sense.
forever.
Sometimes they asked me to make pancakes the other day. I told them I forgot how to plug the pan in.
And we had bunnies and snowmen
And squirrel.
and cars and all kinds of fish. And fish.
Yeah.
And we had king syrup. And and then we put on a bathing suit. We'd go down to the water and we'd swim all day. It's a good thing Pop stayed up to the house because he couldn't stand it when we were in the water because he was sure we were going to drown to death.
Well, he used to spend the days down the shore, down on the beach, though.
It's true.
I mean, because
Show him
He
how
would-
he used to sit.
how he used to sit.
You know, the position he used to sit.
I don't know. But
Had these real long legs, and he would cross these legs. I have short, fat legs. He'd cross these legs and he'd bend over like this.
Yeah.
And
and
just watch him in the water, just like this,
And he would
all
tell us-
day long.
he would
But the
tell
one
us.
he could sit there because he was always afraid one of them was going to drown.
Yeah, well, he would always tell us that if we drowned, that he would
He was
just have to
pushing.
shoot us because he
What the
wasn't.
hell?
He'd have to shoot us because
I
he
know,
couldn't
please.
get us.
yeah.
Or if we like, you know, cut our toe or something, he goes, bring it here, I'm gonna get my knife, I'll just cut it off.
And
And then he would sit down there all day, and he would send us up to the house to get his beer or whatever, his lunch, whatever, and he'd say, I'll give you a quarter. So I used to run up the hill and run back to him. I don't think he ever did give me the quarter. I don't think he ever did.
Here he is with his bottle oboe.
Yeah, here's the picture. I think this is probably it.
well,
Just sitting down the shore, but that's his bottle. National Bohemian had one that they called
Right there.
Old Beau, and it was his favorite beer. He always had a beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other.
Yep.
well, what I remember is how when we used to leave the shore, remember the Cindy? We'd leave the shore and we'd go out with him, and he'd stop at the Dairy Queen, and we'd get a chocolate dipped ice cream, and then we'd go and he'd go to the liquor store,
Right.
and we'd get a Slim Jim.
A Slim Jim, and he would always buy me chapstick. too.
Every time.
Every time. Every time he'd get us a Slim Jim and a Coke.
She
Oh, we
always
got
had
Slim Jim,
sort of-
Coke,
And an ice cream. And we'd have it, I mean, double fisted.
and we just eat one and the other one.
Every single time
Chocolate
we
ice
went.
cream and Slim Jim.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
he didn't change no menus or nothing.
No.
That was his way of life.
That's right.
He drank
Well,
Bo, and he smoked Chesterfield, no, toward the last he
Camel.
smoked. Huh?
Camel?
No.
Chesterfield? Pall Mall? I don't know. One of them.
Camels.
Huh?
Camels.
He never
No.
smoked Camel.
No, it's Chesterfield.
Chesterfield. Dr.
Chesterfield.
Rowland smoked Camel.
Huh.
Well, whatever they are, you see what they did for him.
Yep.
And I fussed and fussed and fussed and didn't do no good.
Should we just show
And he had the Comet. Remember he had a blue Comet?
No,
I mean, a
green.
green Comet?
Right, we're never
I
green.
knew that.
He had a white one, then he had a green one.
Did you see this picture?
Now, let's take a look at that picture.
Now, this is a great picture.
This is
There's a classic.
No. This is my mother and father, and we had gone to Teddy Phillips' wedding over in Salisbury, and we were on our way back, and we were on the ferry, the Oxford Bellevue ferry, over on the eastern shore, and we were riding on the ferry
It was a
itself.
beautiful day. And do you know that wedding held up?
yeah.
That marriage? No. And even though, you know, there was a couple children they adopted there that belonged to some daughter or sister of the woman, and they stayed with her, and even after she died, they stayed with him. So you just don't know about people.
Yep, that's wonderful.
This is the person whose wedding we went to. Teddy lived across the street
Oh, he was a
from
good-looking
us
guy.
on Miles Avenue.
He was my
And I
buddy.
think he thought my mother was his mother.
Oh, yeah, he was. And I think he
And,
thought she was his sister.
Yeah. And,
He had a
and,
mother, but he didn't have a sister.
and he was Bill's best friend. They were friends for a long, long time.
He was a good-looking guy. And he was a nice guy.
And he went on the state police following my brother. And then his brother also
Oh,
went on state police and was a
Both of them
helicopter.
retired last year.
They were very good friends.
Well, didn't the
By
one-
my
That's what I tell you. I want you all to tell me what is wrong with, what's going on with these people today.
Well,
Now,
maybe they didn't have an Aunt Dickie.
Well, they didn't have a Dickie, but they had Miles Avenue, and they went to the Lutheran church. I never forget him. He come to me one night, and he said, Miss Potts, he said, everybody has a church but me. All the kids.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, now, Teddy, what you do is just make up your mind which one you want to go to and go. I never said nothing about him going to a Catholic church,
Uh-huh.
but I knew that his mother was a bitch. In my words, she was tight. Don't you think she was tight, Toots? Whew! And I thought, well, now, if he goes to, I don't care what church, but come find out, Ben was a Catholic, too. But he went down to the Church of Garden Angel, the Scouts used to be there. And he joined that church, and he did real well. I don't know what he did, but he got up on the altar there where they had things and all that kind of stuff. So, he was a nice person. He was very reserved.
My mother always had open house
Oh, boy.
at our house, and Teddy was one of the many that came, did their homework every night. And we didn't have TV, we didn't have a phone. No one in the neighborhood had a TV or a phone. And we would come down, and my mother would let us fry donuts, or, I mean, everybody just came in the house. They just all
Always did.
congregated.
That's why I get all that. He wanted to know how I got along with people. I'm telling you, go out there and look at the cards. They're not relations. There are people I worked with and people I lived around. That's all. They were always neighbors. I always, no matter black, white, or poor, it make no difference. Those kids, all of them, are friends. That one too. He didn't have a mother and a father to give a damn about him. But right now he'd tell you anything, Aunt Dickie or Uncle Ed. But last time I seen him, I thought he was about gone. What do you think, Toots?
Yeah, he.
Well,
I wish I had a good picture of